Congressman Kevin McCarthy warning of potential terrorist sleeper cells in the United States where we live, as CBP reportedly tells staff and the Hamas-Hezbollah crew could be crossing the southern border. Watch this soundbite.
I'm concerned about a cell sitting inside America today. We just caught 18 people just last month on the FBI terrorist watch list coming across our border. More than 160 have done it this year, a record breaking. When we're looking around the Middle East and the uprisings popping up around Europe and others, they could be sleeper cells right now in America.
Here to react and break down the border crossings is the man I referred to seconds ago. Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. Pete, concerned about the border?
Of course, how could we not be? Think back to 9/11. What terrorists saw was a vulnerability in our security that at that point we didn't see.
Overstaying visas.
Overstaying visas, airports, airplanes, vulnerabilities we were not on our radar. This is all over our radar, and they're very familiar with the openings we have on our southern border. And now the San Diego division of the CBP has put out a memo saying, Hamas, Hezbollah, be on the lookout for people from countries with those allegiances attempting to cross our border.
So let's break it down country by country, because they did for us. And tell me if you're a little concerned about this. First off, look at this. Afghanistan, we know they're running for the hills because of the Taliban, but at least we'd like to know if the 6,386, where they're from and who they are.
This is over the course of 2 years. Any one of these countries could harbor individuals with Lebanon, front and center. Iran, front and center.
Egypt is where they came up with the Muslim Brotherhood that gave birth to all these terror
Absolutely gave birth to all of it. A few radicals in Iraq, if I recall. Pakistan, more radical than Afghanistan.
A little bit dangerous?
Just a little bit. You know, the hills over there. Turkey, an increasingly Islamist country, even though they're a member of NATO. Erdogan is taking in that direction. Syria, Yemen, the Houthi rebels. So every single, and these are the ones that are arrested at the border, not the gotaways, which we'll get to in a moment.
All right, now let's talk about the terror watch list, because we're also keeping track of that. Let's start in 2019.
Okay, so this, Brian, is what a policy looks like. This is what a policy looks like. Fiscal year 2019. And then you can draw a bright line with things changing in that policy and how it grew. Terror watch list.
New president.
Attempts to cross the border, and it is exploding. This is exponential growth of people, and they may have wanted to get arrested or not. We don't know. These are people that were encountered and arrested who were on the watch list.
The Homeland Security Secretary was asked, once they came across and you got them, what happened to them? I don't know, was his answer, Mayorkas. So they could have been on the list. Hey, I recognize you from your wanted poster. Good luck in America. We don't know where they are.
We know the answer to most people is I don't know. Where are the people that you've encountered? But the fact that it would be I don't know for people on the terror watch list shows you that they don't have a policy.
All right, so now let's look at the people that we didn't catch. We only saw the back of their heads, I assume. The gotaways.
They have a way of counting and having a rough sense of how many people cross the border without being detained, without being interdicted. 1.5 million people since Joe Biden took office.
Right.
And it's a bleeding wound right now, Brian, because it's gotten only worse in this month. As the conflict is going on in Israel, 1,000 a day. Known gotaways crossing our border from countries all over the globe.
So a couple of things. In the president's request, in his emergency funds, he wants $14 billion for the border. But we don't know if that's going to go to hotels. We don't know if it's going to go for transportation. We don't know if it's going to go for a border wall. We don't know if it's going to go for a new policy. What we hear is two things.